So now we move on to, and I mean, I honestly don't know why I'm even going to offer advice because this is the best team in the league. This is Shay's team. Let's take a look at it, see what's happening here. I love to shit on Shay's team because it's the best team ever from fucking 2010. Nowadays, unfortunately, not amazing. But anyway, you're in 8th place. Your points are up there. Where are we? Okay. So you're in 8th place. You got more points than 7th place, 6th place, 5th place, and you're only 10 points behind 4th place. Win category, you are only 1 win away from 7th, 6th, 5th, and 4th. So 1 win and a couple losses, and you're right there, man. So unfortunately for all of us, the best team is still relevant, Shay's team. Let's talk about Shay's team. What do you want, you little fuckboy? What, Chappie? You want to say hi? You want to say hi? Say hi. Is it a good boy? That's a good boy. Alright. Anyway, so I just needed to give a little wholesomeness and cleanse my mind before I delve into the belly of the beast, which is anything involving Shay. So let's look at his team. You got Phil Rivers, number 10 scoring fantasy football player this year. Stringing together a really good year, despite not using his main go-to, Keenan Allen, very much. This is really turning into Melvin Gordon's team. But Phil Rivers has always been the head of it and a fantasy elite. Again, I say a top 10 guy since the 2000s in fantasy. Definitely, he's a guy you start every week. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the kind of value to net you a trade. Like I have Patrick Mahomes. You know, I can get stuff for him. You could get stuff for Russell Wilson, Ben Roethlisberger, maybe Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. But Phil Rivers just doesn't have that name recognition, so it would be wise of you to just hang on to him. Doug Baldwin, I mean, the boat's passed. I did this update. I did this first video several weeks ago, man. That should have been your wake-up call. If you could have gotten rid of Doug Baldwin, you should have. His projections per game went from 17, 18, 19, 20 to 11. So he is now projected half the points he was projected to start the season. He's not having a good year. He's not a great wide receiver. I think the ship sailed. If you could find someone that's desperate for maybe a flex or a second wide receiver, maybe do something there. But I mean, you have Todd Gurley and Mark Ingram. That's a pretty solid running core. Ingram hasn't been used a lot. Sean Payton's an asshole. I love him, but he's going to have a couple weeks where Ingram will outtouch Kamara. It'll happen. Fucking mark my words, it'll happen. And, in these blowout games, too, at the end of the game where you're not going to sacrifice Kamara's body, they just send Ingram out there. He reminds me of a LeGarrette Blount. He could score a garbage time touchdown. He could rip off a 30-yarder, He is a talented running back. He's unfortunately on a team with one of the best running backs football has seen in quite some time as far as a pass-catching back that is also a pure runner. I mean, people just do not fucking respect Alvin Kamara's natural running abilities. I mean, when you talk about elite running backs, you're looking at the Saquon Barkleys, the Melvin Gordons, the Todd Gurleys, and Ezekiel Elliott's. You're kind of looking past the guys like the McCaffreys and the Alvin Kamara's, man. Alvin Kamara is one of the most valuable assets in fantasy football today. The guy, Drew Brees, could pad his stats with a touchdown pass. It'll go to Kamara. Inside the 5-yard line, it's going to Kamara. It's always going to Kamara. Kamara is the focal point of that offense, and he is something special. He's got some kind of crazy speed. The guy is averaging like over 4 yards per carry. It's fucking insane. He's not built. He's not big. He's not strong. He is just good. He is fucked if you can't say he's the best running back in the league. I mean, you got Todd Gurley. Great. He's definitely bigger, stronger, can blast through holes. But here's the deal. It's like why I think FXX shows are funnier than HBO shows, is because they can't show nudity and graphic cursing and violence and sex and stuff. They just have to be funny based on writing. I think it's harder to be a successful running back in the NFL when you're Alvin Kamara's size and you can't just burst through holes and seams and stuff like that. And you actually have to use your brain and use your mind and let your eyes create holes. They showed it on Sunday night on Scott Van Pelt after Sunday Night Football. He sets his own blocks. The guy sets his own blocks. He goes out, he steps into traffic, steps back, lets the block come in, and gets out there and does his thing. The guy is an invaluable asset. So I don't know why I just went on a tangent on him. Maybe because I own him in one league, maybe because I'm drunk, maybe because we were talking about Mark Ingram. But Ingram's a guy that's great to have because Kamara puts 110% out there. Luckily, with the New Orleans offense this year, he doesn't have to ever complete a game because they've usually won the game by the third quarter. And that's when Ingram's going to come in. I'm not going to call him a garbage time running back because he's going to get some prime touches as well. That being said, I say you keep him. I don't think a lot is going to come from him. The only person that really gave him value and name is Mike D by drafting him in the first round. Mike D, come on, man! Anyway, let's look at the rest of your team. You got Marvin Jones Jr. on a Golden Tate-less team where they still, for whatever reason, just refuse to throw the ball to Kenny Golladay. I traded Philip Lindsay for Kenny Golladay about a month and a half ago. And I'm fucking furious about it. Man, I'm really fucking salty. But anyway, now Marvin Jones on Detroit. Kenny Golladay still not being used. Golden Tate in Philadelphia. You hang on to Marvin Jones. I say for dear life, because they're still only projecting him 12 points a game. The reality is he's going to bang out some 20s to end the year. They're going to play on Thanksgiving. That's a fucking always a Matt Stafford feast. He is the golden gobbler. He's going to fucking throw 3 touchdowns to Marvin Jones that day. Keep Marvin Jones. You got O.J. Howard. Cortland Sutton, AJ Green. I just see a lot of guys here that are good, but don't really have a whole hell of a lot of trade value. Maybe outside of AJ Green. He's going to miss some time, though, and that came at a really bad time for you because I think you could have gotten something big for AJ Green for like a running back hungry team, a wide receiver hungry team that had maybe a running back to spare. Your tight end situation, you got O.J. Howard, great. Fitzpatrick is back, so I think that's a guy that is a viable starter week in and week out. Jordan Reed, I mean, every year some asshole has to draft him, and you were just that asshole this year. You can't get anything for him, and he's basically not startable because you can't trust him to make it through the first quarter. So looking at your team, unfortunately, I think that the move for you, if you're going to make a trade, is Todd Gurley. You're in 8th place. He's gotten you there, and you need to pick up 2 pieces of the puzzle for Todd Gurley. And the thing is, teams that are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th place, they're not there for no reason, and they have people on their bench that, for the allure of a Todd Gurley, they can maybe part ways with something else. let's just take a look at it. I mean, this could take a second. All right, so you got Todd Gurley, right? You're in eighth place. Basically, the only reason you're in eighth is Todd Gurley. So you could turn that eighth into a sixth place by turning him into two more players. For example, let's look at the second place team. Let's look at Jesse. For him to have Mixon, Gordon, and Gurley, I think that he would probably give you. I think he'll give you Evan Ingram and maybe Landry or Juju. I think that you could pad your because you have AJ Green out for possibly several weeks now. You need a wide receiver, dude. Doug Baldwin and Marvin Jones aren't bringing you to the playoffs, and I hate to break that to you. Maybe trade back, maybe get it, maybe trade Gurley for Devontae Adams and Kenyon Drake. Hope Kenyon Drake wakes up and have Devontae Adams as a wide receiver. I don't know, man. Your team's in trouble because you have names like Doug Baldwin that are worth nothing anymore. You have AJ Green that's out for a little while. You have Marvin Jones that's projected 11.95 points. Do I think he's worth more? Yes, but when you go to trade someone, that's what they're looking at. They're looking at projected numbers, and 11.95 ain't going to bring you a lot. So you're in trouble in a lot of places on your team. Maybe, I don't know, man. Shit. What would I do for Todd Gurley? See, what sucks for me is I have this fucking bench spot taken up by goddamn Le'Veon Bell. I have a second bench spot taken up by the 8th most scoring fucking player in fantasy this year, Deshaun Watson. I'm telling you guys, this is trade week, all right? Do you understand what this means? I have Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. Mahomes, number 1 scoring fantasy football player this year. Deshaun Watson, number 8 scoring fantasy football player this year. Do I need 2 quarterbacks that are in the top 10 in scoring overall, including running backs, wide receivers, and defenses? Do I need 2 of those guys? No. One of you motherfuckers does, though. Wake the fuck up. Stop rooting for me to lose. Help your own fucking team and then worry about me in the last game of the year. Y'all don't want Patrick Mahomes? He's on the block. I'll start Deshaun Watson. Come proper and you'll get the number 1 scoring player in fantasy football. Think, guys, think. There has to be something out there. For me, I'm playing on fate this year. If y'all don't come to me, I ain't coming to you. Minus Mike Griffin, who I made a very lucrative trade offer to. Also, what's killing me now is I got Le'Veon Bell flirting with coming back, and we're not talking about me. We're not talking about me yet. I'm going to break down. I might cry later when I talk about me, but we're still on Shea. Shea, man, I hate to say it, man. I think you're really out of playoff contention, if I'm being honest. You can't get anything for Baldwin, but you have to start him, and he's not great. You can't get anything for Marvin Jones, really. You can get a lot for Gurley. If I'm going to make a trade deadline recommendation for you, you heard it here from the Birdman first. You need to dump Todd Gurley. I don't know, man. Maybe, I'll tell you what. You dump Todd Gurley tomorrow, right? And you take him for Tariq Cohen and or Jimmy Graham. Todd Gurley for Tariq Cohen and Jimmy Graham. Honestly, I think that's a fair trade. I think that's something that we don't veto. Morrow's team, Tariq Cohen is his number 1 running back, and he's great. But if it weren't for PPR, he wouldn't be so great. He is great for PPR. We are PPR. You should try to maybe make that trade with him, man, because you'll get a huge bump in production, I think, out of Jimmy Graham at the end of the year with Aaron Rodgers and Tariq Cohen, who is a viable starter. He's projected 21 points, bro. Gurley's only projected 23. Then again, projections they're far from gospel, but they do mean something to an extent. And for my money, your team would be a lot more respectable with Cohen and Graham, or maybe, Cohen and Graham, man, take it if he'll do it. Morrow is in the playoffs as we speak, but that'll give him a huge push, possibly to maybe a second or third place team. So I think that's a trade that works for both of you guys. I'm trying to be fair and non-biased, even though I'm the commissioner and I am still in this league and trying to be competitive. But that being said, this is not my strategy. This is me talking to you guys. Fantasy footballers to fantasy footballers. We're all coaches in here, and we're just trying to go out there and win a couple games, string together a couple wins, get into the playoffs, and then really try to shake loose, maybe get a bad week or two out of our opponents. And I think that your best bet is to dump Todd Gurley. I don't think hanging on to him with a weak performing cast around him is going to get you into the playoffs, unfortunately. And now is your desperation time, bro. You got less than a week. So step up, think about it, do something, look at what other people need and what you can offer them. Everyone needs a Todd Gurley. You have it. You can command 2 players for him, which you have to do because you need to get a running back in return, but no running back for running back deal would be really fair with Todd Gurley. And you need to get a wide receiver too. So, make sure you go out there and do that. If you don't do that, mark my words, if you have Todd Gurley at the end of the trade deadline, you will not make the playoffs, in my opinion. So take that for what it's worth. I'm in first by a lot. You are where you are. So think about it. Think about what I'm saying. I'm not trying to fuck you. I'm not trying to talk shit about your team. I'm trying to help you. And now we have a team that has to change its motherfucking name, Jameel, because I beat that motherfucking ass raw, bro. Beat your ass. 43 points. Your new team name is I Got the Beak. Because you mess with the bird, and you get the beak. And you got it, motherfucker. And someone's excited. I'm excited, too. Yeah, Chappie. Yeah, yes. All right, enough. All right, go away. Go. Anyway, so Jameel, back to me whooping that ass. You got a great team, though, and I won't deny that. I love Fitzpatrick, dude. I love him. It's the Fitz magic is fucking real, at least for fantasy football purposes. And you know what? If he sucks, I still don't think Winston gets his job back. Because let's think about it this way: what is Ryan Fitzpatrick known for? Being a Harvard graduate. What is Jameis Winston known for? Throwing more interceptions than touchdowns and groping an Uber driver. So Fitzmagic is here to stay. He's making O.J. Howard look great. He's making Deshaun Jackson look great. You got Mike Evans out there. Fitzmagic, you can't get anything for him, but you got a strong quarterback that's going to post over 20 points a game. Keep him. Emmanuel Sanders, Cooper Kupp, Latavius Murray, Aaron Jones. I hope you're on a bye somewhere there. Oh yeah, you're the Fournette guy and the Yeldon guy. Man, what if they come back? Woo! Fournette comes back. We're all in a fair bit of trouble, I would say, with Emmanuel Sanders, Cooper Kupp, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Leonard Fournette, Kelsey, Jared Cook, Demaryius Thomas, Russell Wilson. You got a strong team, young man. Jack Doyle. However, you have Oakland's defense, which means that you are now, from this point on, a waiver wire defensive pickup person, and that's not good. Championship teams don't stream. I'm sorry. Go fuck yourself. If that's your strategy and you think you're like a fantasy guru, I'm going to stream a defense off waivers every week, you're a fucking asshole. Because by the end of the year, there's 5 or 6 defenses that are worth keeping, and usually the top 2 or 3 teams have them. All right, so let's get that out there. You have no kicker this week, which means that you have to use a waiver wire pick on a kicker. You have a defense that is projected negative points. So as much as I'll suck your lineup's dick, no homo, your defense and special teams and kicking is an absolute fucking disaster and will cost you a game. Because keep in mind, my defense put up 34 points. Yours put up -8. That is 42-point swing, and you lost by 43, my man. Defense is important, even though it's fantasy football, and you learn that shit the fucking hard way this week, bro. But let's look at your fucking team. What can you do? What can you do? You are in 7th place to sneak back into 6th, 5th, 4th place. What can you do, Jameel? I say your bargaining chip, unfortunately, can't be Leonard Fournette because nobody trusts him to stay healthy, and we haven't really seen him much this year. Literally, 13 points this year, bro. Didn't even have a huge game and then get hurt. Bad news. You're fucked. You're tied to Fournette, and your only hope is that you sneak into 6th place, and then he comes back and he's healthy. And he's the Leonard Fournette that we saw last year, probably the best pure rusher in the NFL. Not out there to catch passes, just there to outrun and blast through holes. Unfortunately, the only thing getting blasted on him is his fucking kneecaps and his feet and his shins. And he is really costing your team big time. I say your big bargaining chip here is Travis Kelce. You got a guy that's projected 18 to 20 points every single week. He is a top 3 tight end, debatably number 1. For me, and maybe I'm biased, I own him in 2 leagues, and I'm super fucking high on him. But I'm a Zach Ertz guy. I think what separates the 2 of them right now, Ertz has better talent, in my opinion, but Travis Kelce has Patrick Mahomes thrown to him. And let's be honest, Patrick Mahomes could make me look like an athlete. He could catch me walking through the parking lot at Cheesecake and hurl one from fucking Morton's before I even get to the patio and hit me in the hands when I'm not even looking. So Travis Kelce, that's your bargaining chip, dude, and you need to find someone that can come proper, maybe with a tight end. Honestly, maybe you go to Shea. You trade Travis Kelce and you get O.J. Howard and A.J. Green. Something like that where you could flex, flex something good. I don't know. Kelce seems to be your most important asset, to be honest with you, outside of your quarterback. Your defense and your kicker situation is horrible. Kelce or Cup. Maybe go to a team with some heavy running backs. Maybe like Jesse's team. Go to him and offer up Cooper Kupp. Maybe you get like a Joe Mixon. Jesse's got wide receivers to burn. I don't know why I'm giving you this advice. This is all... If I wasn't looking at the timer on this thing and saying it 25 minutes and having to go back and reestablish the other 24 minutes that I already said, I wouldn't say what I'm saying right now, but I already got there. and I fancy myself as an aficionado. I'm doing this for you guys. I like a competitive, strong league. Go to Jesse, man. Maybe try to dump Cooper Kupp. Get a lower end wide receiver out of him, but a stronger running back, because you need help in running back badly. You have Aaron Jones, Latavius Murray, Fournette, Yeldon. Who knows? Who knows? You got a myriad of just what ifs there. You have other shit you could flex. Maybe try to dump Kupp. See what happens. Get a strong, get a respectable wide receiver and a strong running back. You also have Demaryius Thomas. I mean, I'd be cool dropping Kupp, starting Thomas, and maybe getting a running back one out of him. You know, you definitely need some insurance at that position. Tight end, you got one of the best, if not the best in the game. You could turn that into something, or you can base your team around Kelsey and Fitzpatrick. Really tough to kind of see yourself in the playoffs and or a championship, though, when your tops are Fitzpatrick and Kelsey, and not just Fitzpatrick because of the name, but because of quarterback. There's a lot of better quarterbacks out there that are going to put up bigger numbers. He's really doing his thing, and I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. I love seeing this Fitz magic. You know, I feel like he's got a bum rap throughout the years, and he's just played for bad teams, and he's making this Tampa Bay team look pretty respectable, in my opinion. So, you know, good for you for having him, but once you're in the playoffs, bro, someone's going to have a better quarterback than you, and the rest of your lineup is not terribly convincing and or intimidating. So I would try to make some trades this week, dude, and I would look toward Cooper Kupp and Travis Kelce. Emmanuel Sanders is a guy that is putting up great numbers this year. I say you keep him because I think you can get better for Kupp than Sanders. Do I think it would be better for you to lose Sanders than Kupp? Yeah, maybe. But I don't think you're going to get as much as you will for Cooper Kupp, especially in a league dominated by running backs. And then at tight end, I mean, you know, listen, if you could dump him for a respectable tight end and then a wide receiver, a running back, who knows, man? Maybe you end up with, you know, Emmanuel Sanders, Stephon Diggs, O.J. Howard, Joe Mixon. You know, I think that makes your team better. You need to, you know, open your eyes. I know Rachel coaches your team. I heard you guys saying, we won 4 in a row. Well, you both came together for a collective pile of shit against me. So take that fucking turd, plug it into the ground, turn that sumbitch sideways, and stick it up your Rudy Poo candy ass with this wee bullshit. Motherfucker, go out there, make some trades, make your team better, because what I'm looking at right now is a steaming, stinking pile of overrated monkey crap. And that's the bottom line, Jamil. Wake up, fix your team. You ain't going to see 4 wins in a row again. If you win 3, you might see the playoffs.